Hello and welcome to our Simple Show by Brian, Ryan, and Tiffany. Today we will be looking at ingredients for a happy planet and what we can do to help. We will talk about three vital ingredients: sustainability, ending poverty, and the Happy Planet Index. These are the vital ingredients for making the world a better place.
In the 1800s, there were 1 billion people in the world. Today, the population increased to 7 billion people. There are a finite amount of resources, meaning that once you use something, it can't be used again unless you recycle it. There are too many people in the world today, and it won't be sustainable unless the people do something about it. Since there are a finite amount of resources in the world, we must use renewable resources such as solar power, wind power, and hydropower. The benefits of using renewable resources are no greenhouse gases will be emitted in the air through this process. In theory, it will never run out, and in the long term, using renewable energy will not cost as much as using a source like oil. You could also recycle different items such as plastic bags and toys instead of throwing it away into the junkyard.
Poverty is a rising problem throughout the world today. At least 80% of the world lives on under 10 American dollars a day, and over 3 billion people live under 2.5 American dollars a day. Surprisingly, Hong Kong is one of the biggest wealth gaps around the world. Thousands of people in Hong Kong live in cage homes, while hundreds of people live in million-dollar rented apartments. Poverty is caused by overpopulation, too little resources and or space, lack of education in poor countries, high standards and costs of living. But in the end, it's all a cycle. And these are the problems that make the cycle exist. There is a theory called the spirit level by Richard G. Wilkinson and Kate Pickett that tells us that unequal societies have more violence and more people going to prison. They have collected data from many different countries and put this data into one equal index. They have also got data from UNICEF, and and from the data they have gathered, 15% of the people in unequal societies would trust other people, but in more equal societies, 60 to 65% of the people would trust other people. This shows that the more equal societies do better than the less equal societies. The most basic form of the poverty cycle is when people live in poverty, and when they have children, their children will live in poverty. The ultimate goal is to break the cycle, and that's how we defeat poverty. However, it is easier said than done. We have to put all our combined efforts to break this cycle. We can donate money to better education in poor countries and donate food to help get rid of famine. When developed countries improve their state of health, women would not have as many children, as there would not be as a large a risk of their children dying at a young age. This will solve the population problem. If we seize population growth, it might hold the key to the start of eradicating poverty. Eradicating poverty is a main ingredient for a happy planet, and we hope in the future that this cycle will be demolished.
Statistics show that what most people want in the world is happiness, health, and love, not wealth. While wealth is important for people, it's not as important as happiness, health, or love. The Happy Planet Index by Nick Marks measures how happy people are and what makes them happy, as this is more important than how much stuff we have. The Happy Planet Index says that there are 5 steps to help people have a good well-being. The first is to connect. You need to connect with others and be social and not just stay at home all day. The second is to be active. You need to be active and not be lazy. The third is to take notice. Take notice of the things around you. The fourth is to keep learning. Learning new things will help keep you up to date. The final one is to give and be generous. If you give and be generous, you'll feel good about giving to others, and they will be happy as well. I think that these things are good to keep a good well-being because these things will help make you and other people happy.
So we conclude that a sustainable world and defeating poverty are two of the biggest problems in this world today, and that we can measure the world's progress through the Happy Planet Index. We now know that renewable energy and donations of not just money, but other things like rice, animals, crops, etc., are a good way to defeat those problems and raise the amount of happiness in the world, as this is what most people want to have. But for it to be successful, we need everyone's help. Together, we can change the world and make it a better place.